Okay.
Okay. And welcome.
We acknowledge that we're gathered on the lands of the Blackfoot people of the Canadian Plains.
We pay respect to the Blackfoot people's past, present, and future. We recognize the thousands of Indigenous peoples
from many diverse nations,
All left their home.
including members of the Blackfoot Confederacy,
the Six Gates,
Akana.
Siksika,
Unstoppy people,
as well as other First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. We respect Indigenous peoples' cultural heritage,
beliefs, and relationship to the land.
it stretches back in time.
We will not blink at history.
We will not blink at history.
And we will learn from it.
Oki is an invitation.
A step forward.
In Blackfoot, Oki means hello.
Oki means hello.
Hello. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and welcome to the lands of the Blackfoot people.
Okay, and welcome to Dial In. My name is the Acapellist. With me is my co-host, Diane. Hello, Diane. And we have a very special guest with us tonight, Donna C. She is a very creative person, has some amazing items she's going to share with us today. Thanks for coming and joining us, Donna.
Oh, you're welcome. Good to be here.
You know this Diane woman a little bit, right? She's kind of, you're familiar with her. You've heard of her.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of her.
So, Donna, why do you want to tell us about the artifacts, or not the artifacts, what do you call your creations that you make? What do you call them?
I don't know. Bears.
Bears. Okay, bears. And so the process is somebody passes away, you take some of their to help the grieving process for the family, remember this loved person, you take a piece of their clothing, often a fur, like a fur coat, right? And make it into a bear. Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
That, and how many times have you done this?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. So you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, probably 30 years.
30 years. Wow. And this, how did this start? Like, how did this become a thing for you?
Well, my mom had a fur coat, and I just decided that maybe that was something I'd try to do, and been doing it ever since.
Got it. So when your mom's passing, you took her fur coat, made it into a bear, and then just basically started the process. Oh, there it is right there. Is that mom's fur coat there?
Yep.
Nice. Beautiful. So how long has that been your keepsake, Diane?
Ever since she made it.
Yeah. And that's been quite a while since mom passed, I guess, eh?
Yeah. And there's my mom's initial.
Oh.
Yeah. So we eat her initials AEG were inside the coat in the lining. And so Donna made 3 bears, one for each of us, because there's 3 daughters, and put a letter on each one of the.
Oh, nice. Nice. That takes a lot of talent, a lot of skill to build something like that. My goodness. Wow. That has your craft, have you refined it over time, or is it pretty much still the same way that you do them? Have you changed up your process?
I think every bear is a little different, because
Sure.
working with the fur, you never know what pieces you're going to use and how it's going to work. So I think about everyone is different.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, it's a unique creative piece of that person's life is what you're leaving, right, for their family. So now you have some samples to show us, right? So do you want to show us and then tell us a little bit about the origin, where that came from? That'd be great.
Well, this little guy that I got, somebody just gave me the fur coat and didn't want anything from it. That's why I still have them.
It wasn't going to anybody, sure.
It wasn't going to anybody, so I really kind of fell in love with his face, so I kept him.
Nice. That is beautiful. What do you do for the eyes? What do you do for eyes? Are they marbles or something?
They're glass purchase,
Okay.
and they're all jointed, so they all move. Their arms move,
Yeah.
their legs move, and yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. How much time does a project like that take you to do, Donna?
I would say a minimum of 20 hours per bear, usually more, depending on what I'm doing. This is one that is from a coat, and I used the fur as accent, so for his ears. He's in the process of being made. So,
Nice, nice. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if I can just change so I get a bigger picture of you. How do I do that? Does that do anything? No, no, no. Oh, great. Bigger picture of me. Not what I was going for. Okay. All right. I don't know how to make a bigger picture. How do I do this? Let's see here. Diane, aren't you the executive producer? Aren't you supposed to know this stuff? Oh, hallelujah. Figured it out. Okay, there you go. You're on a bigger picture, so now we can see you better. Let's give another look at that one. Okay, so this is one you're in process right now.
yeah, so his ears aren't attached.
Yeah.
And I made it out of the coat and used fur accents for his paws and his bottom of his feet and his ears.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. And so that's one you're in progress right now that a family came to you and said, would you build this so we can remember mom?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Excellent.
And tell Ellen about the one that you just made for our cousin, Grant.
Well, that actually was part of the coat. So I made 4 for him. He gave me 3. He actually gave me 5 coats. And I made 4 bears, 1 out of each fur coat. And then the 4th one was a mixture of all of them. And because he had given me 2 coats that were different, I used those as accents. And then I made little vests for all the bears.
Vest for the bears. Oh, how nice. A little fashion accessory for the bears. How nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so this is our cousin, and his wife died of cancer
Right.
a couple of years ago.
Mm.
And these coats belonged to his wife's mother.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he gave the coats to Donna, and she made the bears, the 4 bears, and now he's given them to
His children.
His
He's
children.
got 3 children and then 1 for himself.
Nice. So they all have a memory of her. Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. So did you say like it takes you one whole fur coat to make 1 bear? Like that?
Oh,
There's that? No.
it depends on the size of the coat. So, and depending on the size of the bear.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Sent 3 bears to Colorado, but they were huge bears. They were 24-inch bears.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I got 2 out of that coat. But normally, like a 16-inch bear, I could probably get 3 or 4.
3 or 4? Okay. Yeah, cool.
Depending on the coat, because some of them are long, some of them are short.
Sure. Sure. Does fur like last forever once it's been treated? Like how does that work?
No, because the fur, once you take them apart, they're all little tiny pieces of leather fur sewn together. And over time, the leather dries out, and so those seams rip apart. So it's not that easy. I line all the bears so that I can sew through actual fabric instead of leather, so that hold it together better.
Got it. Got it. The lining is really kind of the template that everything else gets sewed to kind of a thing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So besides that, where, it dries and then it'll pull away from the stitching, besides it's getting dry, do you do anything with fur to keep it like that it lasts longer? Like, or does it like, I don't know anything about fur, I guess, is what my question
Well,
is.
I don't know how to, but I know when people bought fur coats, they would have them stored over the winter in temperature controlled areas. So I'm thinking the temperature must have a difference in how fast they dry out.
That makes sense.
But I have a bear that I made that's 30 years old, and it's still holding together, no problem. So
Nice. Nice. Wow. That's staying power, right? Build something and 30 years later, it's still all together. That's awesome. Yeah.
Tell Alan about the special edition pandemic bears.
Ooh, special edition pandemic.
have them here. Here's the pandemic.
With their little basket, everything. That's awesome.
And this one is Polly Purcell. She has a little
Okay, nice.
Purcell.
Hey, do your bears get in any
And,
fights about vaccination issues, that kind of stuff? Do they have any arguments, discussions, or they're okay? They get along all right?
This one is the koala, the Verona koala. These two, because they have to be distanced, are social and distance. So
Very
And,
creative. And are these ones you built just for yourself? You made for yourself, or are these ones you're going to sell, or what are you going to do with them?
well, these ones that I'm showing you
Yes,
are mine.
they're yours.
I
Okay,
always,
you didn't tell us the story on the last one. What's the story on the last one you just put back?
this one is Clorox because she's been bleached.
Okay,
Fur isn't. So,
got it.
so normally when I make bears like that, I never sell or give away the first ones. I always keep those for myself.
Okay.
So I've since made other of these ones, and they've sold. So
And so, and when they sell, is it just like people know you, or do you have a website where you sell them, or how's that work?
no, my sister actually got in touch with a fellow that built a building out in Nordegg, and he opened it, and part of it is for crafters in the area.
Nice.
So I have my bears for sale there.
Okay, got it, got it. Excellent. So then you get to visit your sister, go to Nordegg, sell some bears, meet some people. It's all good, right? That's a
Oh.
nice trip.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And just recently with my website, she's got the disability bears. So tell us a little bit about the disability bears.
Well, I brought that guy here, this guy. I used to work with children, and most of them were deaf. So this guy can do sign language. So I can sign with him.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
my-
great idea. Like, have
Yeah.
you interacted with a blind child with that bear? Or, with
Yeah.
the sign language, I should say, not blind, but yeah.
A blind guy wouldn't see the signs.
With,
Good try, but wrong. Okay, let me rephrase that. Have you interacted with that bear with a deaf child and did your signing?
several, because I
Several.
worked with children for most of my career.
Right.
And I used to visit kindergarten classes and different parts of the school and give little talks with my signing bear. So
Nice.
he's been used.
Yeah, I'm sure what a novel experience for those kids to have the bear signing for them, or talking with them. Hey, that must have been got some good smiles from that, I bet.
Yeah.
Well,
And she made
they
one.
really- And it also makes the children focus on your hands. So they're actually seeing signs and
Yes.
not just hearing you talk. They're actually watching you make the signs. So,
Right, that makes sense. Because otherwise, yeah, if they're trying to learn signing, they have to learn the signing. Otherwise, they just watch your. Yeah. Got it. Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's great. That's great. And did you know your sister? She's a big time author. Hey, she's quite. Does she still? Do you have to call her like Mrs.? Do you have to show more respect for her now that she's a big time author, or what?
No.
uh,
Donna
Oh.
made a bear for Ben, and the bear has a white cane and it has a trach.
Yes.
And when she gave that to him, he just absolutely loved it because it created for him a sense of he wasn't kind of by himself.
Right. He had a partner in this journey kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You showed me the picture of that with the trach and the cane. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loved it. Loved
Nice.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there an age at which then the bears, for kids, like at what point does a bear, does it not speak to them? Like, I don't know this, like kids must love it, but at some point when they're 16, maybe not so much. I don't know. How's that work?
Well, to tell you the truth, this past Mother's Day, I got a message from one of the moms of a boy that I used to work with. And with that was a picture of him holding the bear that I made him, and he's now in grade 10. So I guess he's kept it all these years and it means something to him.
No kidding,
And-
eh?
And I still visit a lot of the children that I used to work with, and they all have the bears. So
Oh,
I can
that's
say that I
excellent.
think they're pretty.
Yeah, obviously those are very meaningful to them. So no, that's great. That's great. Excellent. Yeah. So all of the bears then, how you people buy them from you, they come to Nordegg and come visit you at the trade show, not the trade show, the craft show, right? The craft event, right?
Yeah,
That's the
I
one.
have my cards that are there, and I've had people that have seen my bears on Facebook and contacted me, and I've made bears for them.
And it looks like you're a quilter as well. Is that correct? There's a quilt to your side, or did somebody else make that one?
Oh, I made that too. So,
You made that too?
yeah.
Nice, nice. And those crafts or that work as well, you when you're going to be at the show, then you have those items for sale as well there. Is that correct?
I have a few of them there, not a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Cool. You are
Well, and
very talented.
you make other stuff too. Like show us the fisherman that you got by your fireplace.
Oh, the bear, you mean?
Oh man, that's a pretty intricate one. We got the vest and ties on him and everything, eh? Wow.
These are my Easter.
Oh, your Easter ones. Oh, wow. Was that like a whole bunch of pens in the front pouch there? Oh, that's paintbrushes.
Yep, that's paintbrushes, and this is my glue.
Oh, your moose. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ladybug.
And what is this guy's story? What's him?
The ladybug? No,
The ladybug.
George just liked it.
Nice.
So that's about it for wandering around my house.
All right. Well, cool. Well, you are obviously very talented. Love your stuff. And what a great keepsake that people get to remember their loved ones, right? That's awesome. Yeah. How many bears do you have in your house?
Oh, lots.
Lots.
Yep. I
Don't
trade
feel.
seasons.
I'm sorry. Say again. I missed that.
I trade them out through the seasons.
You
So I
trade
have
them
some-
out?
And winter ones and Christmas ones.
It's kind of like a museum where you change up the exhibits to be more, to keep current. Is that what happens around? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, Donna, like, I'm sure you have a lot of bears and like, you might think that that's excessive, but you're talking to a man whose wife has 26 horses, one woman, 26 horses. So I understand women with compulsions, with desires for things. So yes. Yeah. Cool.
I think a nice story that you could tell us, Donna, would be the where her bears are being sold in Nordegg is an artisan market called the Beehive, and the fellow that built it really wanted to honor artists, local artists, and so he's encouraged and he's connected with artists in this area. And invited them to bring their creations to the market. And so you go to the market and it's got all kinds of selection of the things that they have created. So there's candles and there's quilts and there's bears and there's knitting, there's fresh fruits and vegetables, there's honey, there's candles, there's jewelry. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful market. But there's a story behind why he wanted to do this, and Donna's really connected to this story. So do you want to tell us the story, Donna?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking she's talking about the owner's wife. She was quite into making crafts and everything. And part of the things that she used to make is she used to make bears. And he passed away, and he gifted me her materials. And so I've slowly been going through the materials and making some of the bears and things that were in this bunch of materials and gifting them back to them.
Beautiful, beautiful. And this, he in memory of his wife, to support other people's who are arts and crafty type folks, then he made the building available for that, or the beehive available for that purpose. Yes, is that right?
Yeah. And he and his wife raised bees.
Oh, okay.
So he's called it the beehive. And when you go in there, behind the front counter, he's got a beautiful picture of her.
Oh, nice. What a great memory of her, eh?
Yeah.
That's sweet. Yeah. Excellent.
So that's a cool story.
It is. It is a cool story. Yeah.
Yeah. And Donna's been to the beehive, I think twice, right? Where you're artist in residence.
Yes.
And the artist in residence is where people come to learn from you. Like you show them your craft and then they kind of watch you and learn from you, ask you questions. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Good.
So,
how do you like that experience? Being in the limelight, having people ask you questions and see what you're doing.
Well, it makes me nervous because I'm not used to that. I'm used to just being here on my own and doing it. But I think another really cool story is I worked with a young girl, visually impaired, and over the years, I've kept in touch with her and everything. And one of the things that she always asked me is, did I think she could make a bear? Now you have to realize she has very, very little vision. She's a braille
Sure.
reader. So I thought about it, and I came up with a way, and her and I sat together one day, and she made a bear.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I cut it out for her because I wasn't real keen on her using scissors, but I cut out the pieces, but she sewed them all together. She turned it, she stuffed it, and I sewed the pieces together so that, and she named it Walter.
Walter, nice. I'm sure she was very pleased to have that kind of experience, like the creative, the hands-on making something. Yeah, that was awesome.
Pretty excited that she was able to complete something like that.
Yeah, I bet. Huh, cool.
yeah. And haven't either the quilting store or some place in Rocky where you buy materials, didn't they ask you to come in and do some classes or something?
Yeah, and actually just this past weekend, there was a craft fair or whatever you want to call it, and I went and was looking, and I stopped at one of the tables, which was the Indigenous youth people there, and I got talking to one of the counselors, and I had said to him, would you like I make bears out of fur coats, would you like some of the scraps to put on the moccasins and whatnot? And anyways, we continued to talk, and now he wants me to come in and do a workshop.
Nice. Well, that's great. And what a great, like if you had scraps to share and they could, he could use it in his moccasins or whatever pieces that he's building. That's great. Did you know, here's a Indigenous fact for you that I believe is true. In the movie, A Woman Walks Ahead, Sitting Bull, the actor who plays Sitting Bull, says that every animal has just enough brains to tan its hide, because they use brains to tan the hide of an animal. And so apparently every animal has just enough brains that you mush it up and tan the hide and fix the hide. Like, that seems bizarre, but that's how it works. Yeah. A fun fact that probably is very useless, but there you go. I shared it with you anyway. So
Never heard of that, but
no, me neither. I thought it was pretty surprising. And I was surprised they used brains as a tanning, to treat material, or tan the hides, but that's what they do. Yeah. Yes. So you're going to do that then? Are you going to do you're going to start making indigenous bears now? I don't know what that would look like, but indigenous bears maybe.
yeah, I don't know what that'll look like either, but yes, in fact, he asked me if I would make his girlfriend one, so.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
When does he want you to do the workshop? And for
Well,
who?
he wants me to do it for the youth group. They do crafts and things like that. And it was interesting because I did talk to the girl Selena, who runs the beehive, and her husband is Native. And so I was telling her about that. So she was really interested that I connect them, and maybe they could have some kind of a business model that they could set up for the youth group doing the crafts. So I'm not sure what that's all going to look like, but it'll come.
Well, it's a win-win anyway. You go and share your talents and share your passion for what you love to do, and that might be just the thing that somebody says, oh, this is just the experience I've been waiting for. This is what speaks to me. This is how I can be creative and express myself, right? So that's beautiful. Yeah. And we all have different ways to express ourselves, and that's to give the opportunity to somebody else to give yours a try, to say, oh, this is for me, or this is not, right? That's totally fine. That's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
So if any of our listeners have a coat and they wanted a bear made, how would they contact you? Because Alan could put it across the bottom there.
I could, and I will.
They could either call me,
mm-hmm.
and my phone number is 403-519-1250, or they could send me an email at donna.see123@gmail.com.
Okay, so I think I got the email address. Can you see this in the chat? Does that show up do you see it on the chat on your side?
No.
Okay. And it was this Donna.see. Oh, I'm one short. I did 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3. Donna.see123@gmail.com. Perfect. And your phone number again was 403
519
403 519 12. What was the last two?
50.
1250. There we go. Okay. 403-519-1250. Excellent. Got it. Okay, so I put those in the chat so people who are watching can see them. And yeah, that's
so I can't see it in the chat.
Okay, well, all right. Well, you know what? Let me do it this way instead. I will. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh,
there we go.
Okay, so now can I show both of these? No, it just goes one from the other. Okay, there's Donna's email address.
Yeah.
And I typed it in correctly and everything. Hallelujah. And then this is her phone number here.
Yep.
There we go. Oh, or I can even use this one. That's a phone number. I didn't even know you could do this. Do you remember last show, Di, we had somebody make a chat, and I clicked on it and it showed up on the screen here. I didn't even know that was a thing. So,
well, learn something new every day.
Exactly. Well, Donna, it was a pleasure hanging out with you and showing your very talented self and the things you can do. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And And you know what? If you're a viewer and you can't remember these numbers, contact me. I'll get you connected with Donna. So, and then if you got a fur coat around, grandma had it, you want to make it into something to remember grandma, Donna has a beautiful way to do so. All right. Any closing comments, Di?
No, thank you. Thank you for coming, Don.
All right. Thanks much. Keep yourself well. See you
Okay.
next week.